champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we reign. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we reign. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can we always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You do what is the awesome one. And there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win, you're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win, you're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like David clap. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like David clap. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like David clap. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Seem like it ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Seem like it ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Seem like it ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Seem like it oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. 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 Dance like it would dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like it would dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like it would dance. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like it would dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like it would dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like it would dance. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Pray like they would pray. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Pray like they would pray. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Pray like they would pray. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Pray like they would pray. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Oh, Yahuwah, we praise Greetings in the matchless name of our Savior, Yahushua Mashiach. We told our Abba Yahuwah for yet another yom to be in the presence of our royal Mishpachah, but above all, to be in the presence of Abba Yahuwah yet another yom, to be able to celebrate and commemorate our time of rest. Once again, I pray that you had an awesome time on yesterday, and I pray that your sleep was peaceful, full of shalom, and that Abba Yahuwah baruch you throughout the Layla. We want to begin, this great yom with the reading of the Baruch of the Torah, and then we're going to go into the commandments. And it is so.
And it is so.
I want to say we had a phenomenal time on Layla.
Yes.
We had some of the Ak come in and worship with us, and we had a phenomenal time.
Yes.
And I just want to say Baruch Atah, and I really Baruch Abba Yahuwah for them not thinking it robbery or thinking it not worth coming to be with us. But we had a phenomenal time. The fellowship was phenomenal. The time of our celebration was phenomenal. We just had a phenomenal time. And so I appreciate what Abba Yahuwah is doing. He's bridging gaps, and he's bringing us closer as a mishpachah. I've said it before. We can't be, you know how people are typecast and stereotyped. We can't be that. We got to get to a point where we move from social media to really dealing with one another in person.
Yes.
Because you can always talk, you know, and I've seen that's where people get the most brazen and, you know, be the most boldest when they're online. But, you know, to talk in person and to be able to look eyeball to eyeball and be able to address certain things, and not just address negative things, but also address positive things.
Yes.
It's important that we understand that. And so I'm just excited in spite of, you know, some of the stuff you find yourself encountering, because we're going to encounter those that are naysayers, and we're going to encounter those that are negative. But when it's all said and done, I refuse to be negative. I'm maintaining to be positive and following the way of Abba Yahuwah. It's just like with anything, we have choices, and if you don't want to participate and do, then my thing is move on. That is just that simple. But to be antagonistic and to argue and go backwards and forth over stuff, that's one of those things we really need to chill out with, because you never know who's watching, and it can be very discouraging to people that want to come in the truth, especially when they see us as a people, as a mishpachah, backwards and forth over things that if we're going to talk and deal, we need to take these things in private and deal with them.
Right.
Especially when you lack understanding. So once again, a word of wisdom on this Shabbat. When it's time for us to deal with things, and even if it's an issue and you feel like what's being said or done is wrong, don't take it and post it up on the front page.
Right.
Especially when you know people are sitting and listening and trying to be baruch by the message. Take it and find a time to collaborate.
Right.
But when you start trying to be malicious and you start trying to attack people, that's a problem, because now it just shows who you are and where you stand.
Right.
If Yahush took that mentality, he would be just like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Some of you have a Pharisaical attitude and ruach, and you need to check that. You need to really put that in check, because that's what the Pharisees did all the time. They always were questioning what Yahush was doing. If you plugged in and you truly connected to the Abba, you don't have to question whether or not the motive is right or wrong, because you already know it's right because we plugged in. But once again, I want to say Baruch Atah unto you, the committed ones, unto Abba Yahuwah, for standing and continuing to stand in truth and not be shaken and not be moved by the things that we see or hear. Once again, I count it a great joy to be here in the city this Shabbat to celebrate with you. You stick with us, don't quit us. Yes, the singing is phenomenal, but there is still great ahead, and that is the instructions of Abba Yahuwah for our lives. I know many come in because they just want to hear the great singing, but there is more to our life than just the singing.
That's right.
And so I appreciate Abba Yahuwah for what he's doing, what he's done, what he's yet going to do. And at this time, once again, we're going to go into the Baruch of the Torah, and then we're going to have the reading of the 10 Commandments. And it is so.
And it is so.
Repeat with me, Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the
Who
universe.
selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the people.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And implanted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Now we will have the reading of the 10 Commandments done by Mattathias. And it is so.
And it is so.
Aleph. I am Yahuwah, your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. Bed you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the mind beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself unto them, nor serve them, for I visiting the iniquity of the Abbas upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that hug me and keep my commandments. Gimel. Or falsify it, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and enters it. Dalet. Guard the 7th day to set it apart as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, esteem your Ab and your Im as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. What? You shall not murder. Zain, neither shall you commit adultery. Ket, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. You, neither shall you desire your neighbor's issue, shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoke unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with, and it is so.
And it is so. Excuse me. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 1 through 18, and it reads, These are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you're going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power to keep all his statutes and his commandments, and that your yam may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yasharal, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily as Yahuwah power of your Abbas has promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Shema Yasharal, Yahuwah is our power. Yahuwah is a God. Yasharal, Yahuwah Yahuwah your supreme one, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this yom shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as mind to bind to the mind. That you shall write them upon the posts of your bed and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore unto your Abbas, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, houses full of all great things that you filled not, wells dug. That's why